Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. At kung bago ka sa channel na to, I'm Za and this is Za Canada. Well, today we have a new topic and it's all about a very common mindset ng mga Pilipino na gustong makarating dito sa Canada. And sometimes, lagi nilang sinasabi na kahit anong trabaho na lang sa Canada makapasok lang. Narinig nyo na ba yan? Narinig nyo na ba yung mga sentences na yan? Or yung mga tanong na yan? Especially kung ikaw, marami kang kamag-anak o mga kaibigan na nasa Pilipinas na nagtatanong na pwede ba ako dyan? Or pwede ba akong makapasok dyan sa trabaho mo? Basta makarating lang dito. Ang daming nagsasabi niyan. And we are going to talk about dyan sa topic na yan, and ano nga ba ang reality? Bakit hindi nag-a-apply yan dito? So, panoorin hanggang dulo. So, we are going to start with this question. Bakit ba maraming Pilipino na nagsasabi na kahit ano na lang na trabaho? Usually may mga dahilan yan. So, the first dahilan or the first reason kung bakit nasasabi ng bawat Pilipino yan is gusto lang talaga nilang makapasok sa Canada. Okay? Sino ba namang ayaw? Or sino bang ayaw na makapunta or makarating dito sa Canada? And second is, alam naman natin kung anong nangyayari sa bansang Pilipinas. And sa sobrang desperate na mga tao na makalabas ng bansa is tinatanong natin ang bawat kamag-anak natin sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo na paano ba makapunta dyan? Pwede bang ipasok mo ako kahit ano lang sa kahit anong trabaho? Kasi yung iba, iniisip nila na kapag nandito na sila, kapag nakapasok na sila rito, saka pa lang nila aayusin yung career nila. Saka pa lang nila siguro papasukin kung saan talaga sila nararapat. Then, meron tayong naririnig din sa social media. Malaki rin ang influence ng social media when it comes to those people who would like to come here to Canada. May mga vlogger na nagsasabi na dishwasher lang sila noon. Nakapasok sila as dishwasher, pero ngayon, manager na. So, tayo naman, kala natin, tayong mga nung mga point na nasa Pilipinas pa lang tayo, na kayang-kaya kong maghugas ng plato. Sino bang hindi marunong maghugas ng plato dyan? Napakadali niyan. Pagdating dyan, siguro sakala lang ako mag-upskill. And, yun na nga, yung mga social medias na may mga nakikitang success stories na hindi natin nakikita na yung mga pinagdaanan nila kung paano sila nagsimula. Okay? Minsan iniisip natin, ay madali lang pala mag-Canada. Pero reality check lang tayo, hindi ganon kasimple mag-Canada or makarating dito. So ito ang kailangan nating maintindihan dito. Walang just any job here sa Canada. So ang pinaka-importante nating intindihin is there are a lot of immigration pathways in order for you to get your dream job or probably to arrive in your dream country. Halimbawa, kung dream country mo naman talaga ang Canada, kagaya namin, then it really took a lot of years bago pa kami nakarating dito. Mukha lang siyang madali, pero marami rin kaming pinagdaanan bago pa kami nakarating. So, again, most of the immigration pathways rely on education. So, kailangan kung ano yung ina-applyan mong trabaho is align dun sa natapos mo. Work experience, of course. For example, if you were working as a, let's just say, if you graduated as a teacher back in probably 10 years ago, pero hindi mo pinractice yung pagiging teacher, pwede ka ba mag-apply as a teacher? No. Kasi they check on your work experience. Kung kaya mo bang maging teacher dito sa Canada. So you have to make sure that your educational background is relevant dun sa experience na or dun sa trabaho na ina-applyan mo. So that doesn't mean that if you graduated as a teacher before, then you can apply as a teacher as well here. Dapat may work experience. And the next one is specific skills. For example, if you are an accounting and may experience ka sa accounting, then you must apply as an accountant. Kung experience mo sa healthcare, let's say you're a nurse or you are a radtech, then you must apply as a nurse or as a radtech. So make sure that you have an experience that is related to your educational background. Hindi kasi pwedeng kahit ano lang. Kasi immigration looks at alignment. Siguro before nung they were really hiring a lot of immigrants outside the country, probably nag-a-apply yun noon. For example, kasi may narinig ako noon from a friend that, well, anyway, that friend is actually here in Canada naman. And she was on tourist visa at that time. And then, pandemic nun. Pandemic nung panahon na yun. Well, she applied sa Tim Hortons. Tapos, nung nag-apply siya sa Tim Hortons, natanggap siya. And then, posible siyang bigyan ng LMIA. Pero, ang experience niya is sa call center sa Pilipinas. Which is not even related to the job in Tim Hortons. At that time, it was possible because walang masyadong pumapasok na temporary foreign workers kasi pandemic nga at that time. Pero ngayon, mahigpit ang immigration, mahigpit ang IRCC when it comes to your qualifications. You have to make sure that the job that you are applying to, again, is equal to your work experience or to your educational background or both. Okay? So, bigyan ko ulit kayo ng example. 10 years kang office worker sa Pilipinas. Tapos nalaman mo sa job bank na in demand pala si construction worker and isa siya sa trades category when it comes to express entry. And then you applied as a construction worker and you were an office worker before. Then definitely IRCC is going to question your application. Bakit biglang change of career? 'Di ba? Bakit bigla ka mag-change ng career? And definitely, immigration officers are not, hindi naman sila, ob-ob. Alam naman nila na kaya mo lang gustong maging construction worker in order for you to land here in Canada and probably eventually change your career to a different profession probably pag nakarating ka na dito. Kasi ang gusto nila is mag-stay ka doon sa career na napili mo para matulungan mo yung ibang mga Canadian or PR na maging construction worker as well. 'Di ba? Kaya kailangan align siya. Again, hindi random ang pagbibigay nila ng work permit at hindi rin ito parang loto. Isa sa mga bagay na dapat rin natin paghandaan dito sa Canada is yung mga processing fee. Kailangan din natin ng budget. Hindi basta-basta na kapag nag-send tayo ng application kay Canada or nag-apply tayo ng resume dito sa Canada, hindi ibig sabihin na lahat gagastusin nila para sa'yo or yung employer mismo yung gagastos para sa'yo. Napakadami na kailangan mong ihanda kapag natanggap ka dito. For example, yung application fees. When it comes to work permit application fees, let's just say na ready LMIA na si employer. May bibigay na siyang positive LMIA for you, or let's just say na may CLB 5 ka for the Francophone Mobility Program. May CLB 5 French, sa French skills ka. Then, you have to apply for a work permit. They are going to give you a certain document with an application number, and yun yung gagamitin mo para mag-apply ng work permit. And if you applied for a work permit, then syempre ikaw ang magbabayad ng application fee. Application fee most of the time is 240, more or less. Hindi ko alam kung magkano yung eksakto. You can always check the IRCC website for the exact amount for the work permit application fee. So, kapag i-convert natin yan sa Philippine money, nasa 11,000 to 12,000, more or less. Okay? Sa ano pa lang yan? Sa application fee. Sa isang tao. Okay? Kapag may pamilya ka, syempre mas mahal. Next is medical exam. Medical exam is 150 Canadian to 450 Canadian. Depende yan kung ilang taon ka na. Kasi normally may mga additional test pa rin ang ginagawa. Tapos, kapag let's say natanggap nila yung application mo, they might require you for biometrics. Biometrics, another gastos na naman yan, which is $85 for one person. 85 Canadian, okay? So again, these are Canadian dollars, the one that I'm telling you. If you're going to convert that 85 more or less, nasa 4,000 yan. Nasa 4,000 pesos. Okay? Hindi naman natin, hindi ko naman alam yung eksakto. As of posting this video, more or less, the exchange rate is 1 Canadian dollar to about 43 pesos. So, i-times nyo na lang kung magkano. Language exam. You need a language exam, like IELTS or CELPIP. Alam ko, IELTS lang available sa Pilipinas. Hindi ko lang sure. Kung may CELPIP na, mas madali yung CELPIP. But the exam itself is about 390 Canadian dollars. So, magkano ulit yan? Nasa 15 to 16,000 more or less. Ganyan ang kailangan yung i-prepare. Next one is document processing. For example, if you need to request for your WES, for your ECA, nasa $200 na naman yan, more or less, 250. And, ayan na nga, yung ECA, Educational Credential Assessment, translation of documents. Let's just say that your documents are not in the English or French language, then you need to translate your documents, and police clearance. So, dapat talaga financially prepared. Okay? Kasi, kung ang mindset natin dito is kahit anong trabaho lang basta makapasok, pero wala kang budget para makapagproseso, then mahihirapan ka talaga. Hindi naman talaga basta-basta na makapag-apply sa Canada. You need time, budget, and patience and determination para makarating kayo dito. And here comes patience. Kagaya nga na sinabi ko kanina, immigration processes takes time. Sometimes years, sometimes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years ang pinaghihintay. And during that time, minsan nag-aaral sila, nag-i-improve ng English o ng French, nag-iipon ng experience, and hindi ito overnight success. Okay? Walang shortcut, walang instant dito. Walang basta-basta siguro nakapunta lang rito ng basta-basta. Siguro kung mayaman ka, or probably you have relatives here that sponsor you, that can sponsor you to come here sa Canada. So most probably you might be able to land here. Pero again, for those people na wala talagang kahit anong background, kagaya namin, wala kaming kamag-anak dito, we started from scratch. We check all of the possible pathways in order for us to come here. Okay? And hindi naman, kahit naman mahirap yung process, posible siya. Okay? Wala naman ako sinabi talagang imposibleng makarating dito. There are a lot or thousand of Filipinos that are successful and who immigrated to Canada ng walang kahirap-hirap or swift yung ano nila, yung pagland nila dito. But they have, and I'm sure that each one of us have success and failure stories. Pero, ano nga ba ang pagkakaiba ng success and failure? That is determination. Okay? Kasi, kung may determination ka, you have already gained your experience, nag-aral ka ng English, nag-gain ng relevant work experience, they prepare, and hindi lang basta-basta humiling ng humiling sa Diyos natin, di ba? Again, nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. So kung hiling lang tayo ng hiling kay God na paratingin tayo sa Canada, makarating tayo sa Canada, nang wala naman tayong ginagawa, na hindi naman talaga natin pinagpupursigihan na makarating dito, then walang mangyayari, di ba? They don't just arrive. They probably I don't know what's the probability. Probably may mga lucky lang talaga na tao na talagang automatic, yan, big offer sa kanila, sige, punta tayo na Canada. Siguro, di ba? Pero again, if you would like to increase your chances, then you have to build yourself. You have to build the necessary skills in order for you to land here successfully. Okay? Again, walang imposible hanggat ginagawa mo yung parte mo, nananalig sa Diyos, at hindi sumusuko. Okay? So, that should be it for now. I hope may natutunan kayo sa video na to. And if you are someone who dreams of coming here to Canada, again, hindi sapat yung mindset na kahit ano lang, makarating lang ako sa Canada. Okay? You need strategy, preparation, patience, and determination. Okay? Thank you for watching. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe into my channel. Share sa mga lagi nagtatanong ng kahit ano lang. Okay? Thank you. Until next time. At laging tatandaan, hindi kailangan maraming pera, basta may peace of mind. Bye-bye.